Okay, you also mentioned that there was a coding question. Correct.
Yes.
So, okay, you remember that question, Anand? If you remember, you can just mention it here.
Okay, so first coding question what I was asked is, if suppose there is a transaction table,
Uh-huh.
how can you get the last record, the
Okay.
last row inserted in the transaction table? This was the
Okay.
one question. Another question I was asked is, suppose there are two tables, both are having a single column.
Okay.
And if you perform all the types of join, left join, full, left join, right join, full join,
Okay.
what will be the number of records of the table? So there
Mm.
are 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, null, null. This kind of records were
Okay.
there in both the tables.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
in this question, I have asked to provide the number of records in the table. So this is the
Okay.
question which is asked in almost all the interview for SQL or data warehouse job.
Okay. Good.
The other question I was asked is, how you can you utilize time travel?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
History.
write a query for time travel. The
Mm-hmm.
fourth one I was asked is, uh, retrieve the second highest salary of an
Okay.
employee
Mm-hmm.
of all the employee department wise.
Okay.
So these are the questions which was asked to me in
Mm-hmm.
the interview.
Okay. So, for your preparation, so did you refer any reference website or any source for your preparation, Anand? Any talk on
Yes,
that?
yes. First, I would advise to create a notes of all the interviews
Uh-huh.
and create the write the definition of all the things,
Mm.
like all the concepts, so that
Yep.
you can, whenever there is an interview coming up, you can always revise them. Second, there is one website for SQL practice.
Okay.
The website name itself is SQL practice.
Okay.
First, do the practice from there.
Okay.
I can share you the website name and you can share in the link as well.
Yeah.
And then later on switch to HackerRank and LeetCode.
Okay.
So SQL practice website, it's very friendly, user friendly,
Okay.
and you get the database there itself, and they will
Mm.
ask you simple question, and then later on uh, the easy, medium, and hard all levels of question
Thing
will be there.
increases. Okay. Mm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
these are the website I did for SQL. For Python, I did my uh, I I I practiced in VS Code itself. I just looked in the Google like what are the coding question asked for Python.
Okay.
But fortunately, it was not asked in Snowflake Data Engineering.
Mhm. Okay, so you mentioned that coding is like SQL related queries. They will be giving a scenario, and you need to write the SQL queries. So that is scenario number
Yes,
one.
yes, yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
so no coding question like DSA. I mean, no such kind of questions, data structure kind of questions, Anand.
No, it's a I would say it's 70 to 80% SQL
Mm.
job,
Mm.
and it's a data engineer job, so it's rely on SQL itself
Uh,
most of the time.
agree.
So they will only be asking for SQL question only, and SQL is easy to learn
Mm.
initially, and later on, if you learn it in a good way and practice it every day, you can get master in it.
Okay.
So just go for the interview questions. You can. There's also some few sources which you can do. Just search on LinkedIn.
Okay.
People are writing their interview experience of different companies.
Uh,
So
yep.
follow them. Every day they post their interview experience.
Uh,
Follow HRs on LinkedIn. So these are all small steps that you need to take to go for a switch.
Chalo then. So yeah, guys, all the links mentioned by Anand will be shared in the description. You can go have and practice with those questions and get familiar with that. And yeah, I will be attaching all the links into the description. And Anand, anything else, Anand, in the technical round? Any other questions apart from this?
No, they only asked the conceptual question, which I
Mhm.
already said, and then the toughest question which you have done. So that
Mhm.
you have to prepare by yourself.
Okay.
This
All
was
right.
the question I was asked in technical.
Right. Putting spotlight on this that tough question you mentioned, right? Tough question.
Hmm.
So you remember that
Hmm.
tough question, Anand?
Yes, I was about, yes, I remember because I have practiced it.
Uh-huh.
So the question was like, it was not a scenario specific or what. The
Okay.
interviewer asked me like, what is the toughest problem you have solved and you have been given.
Okay. Hmm.
So for every person it will be different. For me, it was automate a task
Okay.
and which required an ISCS tool, Airflow, and Snowflake, three of them.
Okay.
So in this task, I had to utilize all of them,
Mhm.
and I had to write Python and SQL code in them.
Mhm.
So I explained thoroughly the whole problem and how I automated the task and what coding I did.
Okay. Mhm.
I also told them like I looked in Stack Overflow and the documentation to get
Mhm.
a better oversight because this problem was very relatively new to me.
Okay.
So then I also did some chat GPT, but nothing helped. You have to figure out in your own way if you get a new problem.
Okay.
So then I realized and then I solved it, and that's how I explained to her as well.
All right. Super. I mean, it's all about how you do research to solve this problem. That is what I can say in a single statement.
I believe yes, but you have to present yourself in
Uh,
such a way that you did some learning out of the task as well.
Execution. Mhm.
So yeah.
So this is all about the technical round.
Hmm.
So each round is an elimination round, correct?
Yes, correct, correct.
Okay.
Each round is an elimination.
So how long it went, Anand? Like time taken for the technical round?
40, 45 minutes.
45. It was on site or online? How was it?
Online.
Online. So what was the platform? Any remember? Like, is it Zoom? Is it Teams? Which one?
Teams,
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 huh?
teams.
All right.
Hmm.
So this was all about the technical round, and the main priority what I felt is they will be checking your SQL knowledge. I mean, query knowledge.
Yes,
So a bit
and
about
Snowflake knowledge as well.
and profile related queries. But main, I
Hmm.
mean, coming
Profile.
speaking commonly, like my understanding is like if comes to the data engineer part, SQL query is the game changer question. It is the main
Yes.
important.
So there are three main pillars in data engineering, and
Mm,
one is Python, another one is SQL, and third is PySpark. PySpark is
this part.
gaining too much attraction nowadays,
Yep.
but it is role specific.
Uh-huh.
PySpark is, but my role was Snowflake, and
Okay.
Snowflake right now does not support PySpark. It
Uh-huh.
supports Python and SQL
Mm.
and Java as well. So Python and SQL was something I had to prepare, and I prepared
Okay.
it. But SQL was asked, Python was not asked.
Okay. Just a personal question. Like you mentioned, you also prepared on the Python part, right? So at what
Hmm.
extent was your preparation, Anand? Just the basics or TSA, or at what level you have prepared in the Python perspective?
Uh, we have to prepare NumPy, Pandas, and
Mm.
core Python coding questions.
Okay.
Question will be asked from NumPy and Panda. If you
Okay.
have to go in detail, I would advise you to learn PySpark.
PySpark. Okay. Mhm.
PySpark is way better and the career is very good in PySpark. I am myself learning PySpark nowadays. So I would advise everyone to learn PySpark.
All right. Super.